Hello everyone, Selene here. I'm going to give everybody a minute to get logged on. I am not here at my normal time. We're doing a lunchtime stamp break instead of 3 o'clock because I've got my mom hat on today. I am going to be running taxi cab back and forth to the school about 4 times today. Hey Robin, glad you found me. Glad I found you. How was everybody's weekend? I hope things are going well. Let's see. I'm going to jump right in here, and people are messaging me, of course. I can't look at those right now. I'm trying to find you so I can see your comments, so just give me 1 second. Hey, Carol. So how was your weekend? Was it good? It's only Tuesday, but this weekend I'm really excited. I am headed out to speak at a demonstrator event in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania for my good friends Connie and Jody. That was weird. A strange sound coming from my laptop. Okay. Please stop texting me. All right, we'll share this over into the creative group. That's so funny. So I just sent back a please stop, I'm live. Back to school. Oh, good. I'm so good. I'm so glad that the boys are all set. So I'm going to that demonstrator event and I get to speak and help my friends kick off their catalog launch, and I get to meet their teams and hang out, and I'm sure that I'll learn a whole bunch, and I'll share some, and I'm very excited. I get to present this weekend. And let's see, what else? I have a card class coming out that I designed it. Actually, Robin Greger, thank you for the design on this one. It's a cool fun fold. And I used it to design this card class. Actually, I can flip the camera and show you in a minute. But it's designed and prepped. I have to do the marketing and I have to do the directions. I am not good at the computer part of things. I can design and prep a class like nobody's business. But when it comes to doing the computer stuff, it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to flip this camera. And I want to tell you about last week. Or it might have been 2 weeks ago, because the days kind of fly together when you have a teenager, right? I had my best friend from 3rd grade, my best friend Sue. I met her on the music bus. I got my butt whooped by some girl who just wanted to beat me up and I was sitting by myself, and I got on the music bus, and Sue was the only one that would sit with me, and I've known her since then, in 3rd grade. And her mom passed away. Her mom's name was Janet. And we had, they had a service for her, and I got to hug Sue because she lives down south now. And we, when you get older and you have your own kids and people move away, it's hard to get together. But as I was sitting there waiting for Sue, because I wanted to talk to her, but she was obviously talking to everybody who wanted some time with her, I just sat down on the couch, and her brother's children, so her nieces and nephews, came over to me, and the youngest one was doing this thing, and he's like playing with this thing in his hands, and I'm like, what is that? And he said, oh, it's this fidget thing, and I got a little nervous energy, and me and my sisters are racing to see who can do it faster. And so as he went through, I didn't even realize it was a mask card, but as he went through, I started to see the way he was folding it, and I know that I had seen this before, and I'm like, I know what that is. That's a never-ending card. And he's like, really? And he was like looking at it sideways, and I bet that there's a way that we could make this, he said. And I'm like, yes, there is. You can go online and find it. And so for Sue's nephew, I wanted to actually figure out how to make one. So today, I was talking to Jody just about the event coming up this weekend. And I said, hey, have you ever made a never-ending card? And she said, yes. And she sent me a video that she did that was only like 10 minutes long. And I was able to put one together. So here's my take on it. And this is, I still want to make a belly band. She did a belly band on hers and I thought it looked pretty, but this is the kind of the base of it, right? And it's using the same stuff, the same supplies as the card class that's going to be coming out. This is really cute too. It's a fun fold idea. But anyway, we'll do this, I think, from start to finish today, if you're okay with that. And here's how it works. So this is the front of the card, and I'm going to make a belly band, and we can do that at the end. But you open it up, and there's 4 different panels, okay? So this is this first flip. This is the second flip, and you can see that I stamped it and then cut it apart. And by the way, this mother of pearl paper, I have been hoarding it. And what better, because I only had one little piece left, I have since sliced all my mother of pearl into 1-inch pieces so I could make a card with you guys. And then here's the mother of pearl again on the outside. And then with deepest sympathy on the inside. So I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm probably going to use about 3 different stamp sets on this project because I am just using what I have because I really want to make a nice card for Sue. So anyway, let's jump in. And the first thing that you need is 2 pieces of paper, and we need them cut. I'm going to grab my trimmer. You need them cut down just to a quarter sheet. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I already did one of these cards, so I have the 2 pieces left over to make a second one, okay? And we'll put this over to the side, but isn't that cool? I mean, and all of these are pictures of their family. Absolutely beautiful. A beautiful memory thing for Sue's family. That's Sue right there. So yeah, just a great memorial card. Okay, so first piece of paper is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. On the 4 1/4 inch side, we have to score it 16ths. So I hope that the lighting is okay. It seems a little dark when I'm looking, but it seems okay when I'm looking at my laptop. So I hope the lighting is okay. It seems a little dark. Shh. I'm trying to make myself be quiet. So you need 1 1/16. There are 16 lines on the paper cutter between 1 and 2. And you only want to go over 1 line. So 1 1/16. Okay, so I'll try and do that for because some of the measurements on this are a little wonky, but they're really cool. So I need 1 1/16 on both sides, so I can slide this over because this paper cutter actually has the 1-inch mark on that side too, and it's just easier to slide it over as long as it doesn't move. You really want to be extra careful with your measurements on this. You want to make sure that it's exact. Otherwise, your card mechanism won't work that good. So once you have it scored 1/16 and 1 1/16 on both sides, then you're going to take it and you're going to flip it and cut it in half. So half of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. And the 1/4 inch lines are really nice because on this paper cutter, you have the lines going up and down to kind of guide you. And so you couldn't do this necessarily on the scoreboard. You need a trimmer that has the lines so that you have the 16th of an inch. But that is the first bit, okay? So then you're going to take another piece of paper. Oh, turn the heat off. And on the 4 1/4 inch side, we're going to score in, let me see. What did I do? Did I not write it down? Oh, Jody, are you on here? If Jody's on here, I'm trying to think of what the measurement was. Darn it. Give me 1 second. Good God. I'm all kinds of special. There's another measurement, and I know it's in half again, but I need to find that measurement, darn it. And I will. Give me 1 second. My goodness. That's embarrassing. So I told you that I just learned how to do this, and I did. So I'm going to put this to the side while I find it, and then I'm going to show you some of the pieces. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to cut a card. Here, let me see. Where'd she go? Okay, I got it. It's 1 3/8 inches. Oh my gosh. So thank you, Jody, again, because I had to go look it up. So 1 3/8. So 1 and then 3/8 is actually 6 lines on the paper cutter. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3. I was busy doing it, so I didn't write that one down. So 3/8 would be 1/8 before the 1/2 inch mark, if you're not like a good measurer. And then again, we have to cut that in half. Boy, that was embarrassing. 1, 2, 3. But whatever. I legit didn't know how to make this, and that's what we do. We take care of each other and figure it out, right? So 1/2 of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So that's where we'll cut this to get the mechanism to work. Okay. So this piece, I'm going to lay down in front of me. And the first time I made this, with that first card that I just showed you, the tear and tape was coming up on me. So I am tempted to do it a different way, but I wanna put a bend in this to start, because also I want to make sure that once I get it put together that it's gonna like bend easy for me. So, and that'll also make it easier for you to see in the video where I put the adhesive. I think it goes like, never dull, never dull. I just did this. You'd think I could do it again, huh? Okay, so that's the front of the card, right? I am all jammed up today. See? See what happens when I try to do stuff on the fly? I'm going to get there. I am. I just need to do it visually. I only made one, so, you know, I should have probably taken pictures of myself doing it. Because, oh my goodness. Well, these are the right measurements. I know that much. Hang on. Good God. That's excruciating to watch, I bet. Let's see. That's the wrong one. Oh my goodness. I'm lost. Oh, there it is. Okay. Phew. So, I'm trying to think. This is the way we had it. And we put tear and tape in 4 places up to the score line. So, I hope I'm doing this right, because this is embarrassing. If not, I'm deleting this video. You know that, right? Oh, there we go. The tear and tape is buried. I was just so excited to make it, and it took me about an hour the first time, and I thought, oh yeah, no problem, I've got this. And that now I'm like fuddling a bit. So what Jody said when she did her video was to make sure that you don't go below the score line for the other cardstock. So we've got a visual here. So now I'm doing better. So that score mark is going to serve as like an invisible line as to where you don't want to go above. And you just lay this down and rip it off. Nerves. Thank you, Vera. I'm glad you guys still love me, even though I'm totally, obviously, imperfect. So, we'll, I think, yep, and then it was just the top. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it's here and here. I think it's just the 4 corners. So like this. I hope I'm doing this right. So what we did next is you peel off the tear and tape. This is my tip, 100%. Got to stick it down good. Don't try to pick it up from the corners. Get under the middle because it's easier to rip. But what I did notice is at one point my card started to come apart. If that happens to you, I could recommend this glue enough because that's the glue that I put boxes together with, but where I'm not 100% certain of myself yet on this technique, because I just learned it 2 seconds ago on the fly, you know, I don't want to stick it and not have it be the right thing. So what we did is we took that piece and we folded it over. So this piece is on this side still, and that's going to do the same thing. So I'm going to just remove this. Ooh, I removed it all right. Make sure it's stuck down good or you'll peel up the adhesive too. But going under the middle makes it easier to peel it up, but I think I peeled off the adhesive a little bit. Oh, darn it. Whatever. Here we go. I am going to put a little liquid glue right there. I'm feeling pretty confident now, huh? So I'm going to slide this back, right? Fold that up a little bit. Bring it down so that it matches up to the bottom. And then close the top. So I can put my glue here with confidence now, and I'll give that a second to set up. Okay, so it's glued here and here underneath. I don't usually get nervous on a Facebook Live, but I do when I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. That's funny. Yep, it's coming off, but that's okay. I'm gonna use liquid glue. And we're gonna do the same thing with this side. And actually, I'm more confident that the liquid glue won't come apart, so yay for that. And then we'll fold this up. Whoop. Make sure I don't move it while it's wet because it's liquid glue. I have to have a little bit more patience, Miyagi. Oh, Linda, you got cut off last night. I'm so sorry. We have our Monday Facebook or Zoom group that meets every Monday, and Linda was on with us and she said she got cut off. I wonder what happened. Maybe internet connection? I ran out to go get my daughter because I am taxi mom this week. Okay, so this is the base of our mechanism. Okay, so if all went well, this is the front, and then here's the first panel. And the first time you bend it, it's going to be a little wonky, but that's why I kind of bent them before I got started. And then here's the second one. That's why it doesn't feel like it's right. You know what I mean? You question if it's right the first time you do it. Here's the third one. And then it finishes back at the beginning. Okay. So, do you guys want to do the layers together? Oh yeah. Do you want to do the layers together, or do you want me to just tell you about the layers? Because we can do it right now, the measurements. Let's see. So this front panel, let's see. I did have it. Score it 1 3/8 on both ends and cut it 2 1/8. That's funny. So I did write it down and I just got nervous and couldn't find it. So this piece is 2 5/8 inch tall. Okay. So I have this piece of designer paper, and I did give in the packs this month a small offering, a couple extra pieces of the Artfully composed paper. So I just took one of the paper samples because I'm going to do the video for that class when I get off the live today. But I'm going to take this sample and cut it. So it's 2 1/2. So what did I say? 2 5/8. So that is the 1/8 between the 3/4 and the 1/2. You with me? 2 5/8. Come on, get down there. So I got that. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces off of this at 2 inches. So 2 5/8 by 2 is a common decorating piece for the tops of these because a lot of them measure 2 5/8 or 1 1/4 or 1. And we'll just go through them one at a time. So that looks like bigger than 2, but it is 2 and 2. So on the front of panel of our project, these can connect. And away we go, right? So that's 2 5/8 by 2, and I just cut them down like this. I learned it. Yeah, I learned it today. I was telling them last night about this never-ending card and about this very smart young man who had me thinking, I need to learn how to do that. I am just going to emboss a piece of Just Jade cardstock with the brand new Fern 3D folder, and it's probably easier for me to just do it because it's almost done now. So for decorating, I took that. Here's the fern. I just ran it through with the 3D folder and plate number 4. So that's all you need. Isn't that pretty? This is out of the new catalog. These are out of the older catalog, and these are retiring. The Artfully, it will be retiring in the end of June. So they haven't like done the announcement yet, but unless it carries over. So from here to here is 2 inches, right? So I'm gonna cut a strip, and I know I'm off camera, at 2. But you get the idea, it's 2 inches. And then I'm gonna come back, and these little quarter panels are 1 1/4 inch tall. So I do this a lot when I'm prepping for a class. If I know that I need 1 1/4 inches, I'll go 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, and 5. So I'll cut this backwards. So I'm at 5. I'll cut it 3 3/4 because it's easier than cutting it off, setting it up again. I go backwards when I'm multiple cutting like this, and just cut my strips all at 1 1/4 for ease of time. And you don't have to pick it up and redo it every single time. So let's just use some liquid glue here. This will be quick. Ta-da! And we'll stick these panels on. So the center panels were 2 inches across by 2 5/8 tall. And these are also 2 inches across, but they're only 1 1/4. Okay. Well, it just kind of gets it done. Thank you, Mary. All right, so now I open up my card and I have 2 more panels to decorate, right? And let me see, I'm gonna bring in, I wanna get my bone folder so that it sits nice, because, just saying. All right, so when I get to this section, I thought that it might be nice to do a little bit of stamping. So I thought, again, the center panel is 2 inches in the middle across by 2 5/8 inch tall. So let's just cut a 2 inch strip on the fly, right? And then I want something to stamp on. I had my paper pumpkin out, and I still have the board from that, so I'm going to use that as a Stampin' mat. And I'm going to bring in that Artfully composed. Is that what it is? Artfully composed. My table's kind of messy. So I have a whole bunch of stamps out. Ooh, I am sorry. I just nicked the camera. I'm just looking for my my ink pad. That's why I can't find anything on the table. Oh, darn it. Well, that's going to be kind of interesting. I don't have my ink pad, so If you ever want to do a background and you don't have the right ink, you can do a watermark, but it would be much easier if I could find the ink pad. I've been having a day like that. I had a whole bunch of little birds on the table. Oh, there it is. As I say, we could Versamark it because it would be the same color like a watermark, but glad I found it. Messy and imperfect is my kind of day, but I was up early, I was up late, and I will be in the car a lot today. Taxi mom. So I am just stamping a background with these words that probably say something, but the font is so small, nobody could read it. It's like, perfect. There we go. And then I thought we might stamp one of these leaves. This reminds me of Hawaii, and boy, wouldn't I love to be there right now. And then I love these little leaf heart things. They look like hearts to me. For those of you that know my team, my team is Stampers with Heart, so anything that kind of resembles a heart, I usually end up getting it and using it for team things. I think we need a Wink of Stella. So I'm just going to fill in the center here and add a little sparkle. And the leaves, I didn't spend a lot of time stamping them, so some of them didn't come out perfect. And that Wink of Stella is just going to fix any issues I have. Plus it'll add some sparkle, so what's wrong with it? Nothing. Here we go. All right. Well, that's good to get done. All right, anybody remember the measurement for the inside piece? It was 2 by what? Anybody? I'm watching for it. It's 2 by 2 5/8, and this measurement is like 2 5/8 is through the whole thing as you start to decorate. So 5/8 is the 1/8 of an inch between the 1/2 and the 3/4. So it's this one. So when I cut it at 2 5/8 twice, I'll be able to do that whole center panel with these two pieces, and they'll connect, which is even cooler. I hope Sue likes this card. No pressure. I wanted to make like a stunning card for my stunning friend, Jim. She's really taken the loss of her mom hard, so. Let's see. Okay. So these fit perfect, 2 by 2 5/8. So now the sides of this one, right? There's 2 measurements. So we said that the outside is 1 inch because it was 1 1/16, so that we could layer nice. This one will end up being 1 1/4, and this one will be 2 5/8. So I'm going to start with bringing in some of that mother of pearl paper that I didn't want to cut, because what better way to use the pieces that I just didn't want to part with. If you don't have this, this is in the mini, and you can't get it after the end of June, and I'm sure that like in about 30 seconds it's going to be while supplies last when they announce everything. So I would say you should get it if you want it. I did polished stone with this, and it was absolutely stunning because it's got that glossy texture. So 2 5/8. And while I'm at it, I'm going to cut a few of them because I think we need a bunch. So let's see. I just want to check the card because it'll be easier. So I know that I need 2. And then 4 more. So let's grab those. Oh, look, I had one cut from before. So we're halfway there, 2 5/8. So this is like the number, right? How can you forget when I say it over and over again? Well, I can, don't worry. Just give me a second and I'll forget. 2 5/8, 2 5/8. All right. So then we're gonna need, since we're using that paper, let's cut all of that. These were 1 by 1 1/4. So these little cutoffs here that I have after I cut my stuff, I can just cut them down. Look, I got birthday candles. I can make another card. So I'll need at least 4 of those. Come on, trying to pick it up. Shiny, shiny. Okay, so we said 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 5, 3 3/4. So let's cut it at 5 and go backwards because that'll go faster. 5, 3 3/4, 2 1/2. Now I'm cooking, huh? 1 1/4. Oh, it moved. I'm excited. I didn't even have that much coffee today and I'm shaky. All right. So here's all my little pieces for that. Now, we're only on the second panel, right? So when we flipped it in, these, it's a familiar measurement, are 1 1/4 by 1. So I'll cut a 1-inch strip off that one piece that I embossed. So there's really not a lot of product that goes into it. It's so impressive because you think that like you could go all day with the pieces, but it's not really a lot to make, you know? So I'm gonna go backwards again. 5, 3 3/4. But they're just 1 by 1 1/4 inch pieces. So if you're not feeling fancy, you can just cut them. But I just want it to be not boring to watch. And that's how I cut all the time. I go backwards. All right, so let's bring this back in. We get this piece. And now we have these pieces that we cut. So 1 by 2 5/8. But the 2 5/8 sits in the middle this time, which is kind of cool. And then let's lay these 4 out. And just put the adhesive all at once, and then we'll flip them over. So here we go. So 1 by 1 1/4. That whole panel is done. Okay. Flip. Now, when I got to this one, I did 4 more of these on the top and the bottom, but like, again, you can decorate this any way that you want. When I was most impressed that the printer did it and did it with all photographs. So imagine, like, if you're a scrapbooker like me, how awesome that would be. So 1 1/4, 4 times. Ooh, that's a little wonky right there. I must have been a wee bit off. Hang on, what's going on here? See, that's the tear and tape. But that's okay. Let me see. As long as it flips, I don't care. It does flip. I'm going to move that just a little bit. And then I'm going to... So see how the tear and tape isn't perfect right there? This is the stuff I use to make boxes. So if you don't want something to move, go back to the liquid glue because it'll work for you. And that little corner is the wonk one. But that's okay. I'll put it in front and then we'll be good to go. This doesn't seem like 1 inch. So maybe I got a little over exuberant. Oop, crooked. So if you have to, you can always trim. There we go. See how it like is overlapping a little? It didn't do that on the first one, so I must have just been off a wee bit. And that's why it's important that the measurements are right. Okay. So then the center panel. Anybody know what this measurement is? I'm gonna grab a piece of paper and you can tell me what you think, because we're doing it over and over again. It was 2 5/8 by 2. And let's bring in the background stamp. Ta-da. So this Sending All the Hugs came out of that same stamp set from the mini that's going out, Sending All the Hugs. The other 2 sentiments that I'm going to use, crap. The other 2 sentiments that I'm going to use came out of 2 different stamp sets. Stella. So I'm just kind of collage stamping here. This stamp set, I'm not usually one to collage stamp or like layer up the images. I like typically clean and simple, but for the occasion, it's a little messy, and sometimes collage stamping is a little messy, and I don't know, it feels like the right thing. Does that make sense? This one is lifting a little, see? I'm gonna go back in and give it a little more liquid glue because I know that that stuff will hold it perfect and it won't come apart with the liquid glue. All right, so I'm gonna take this 2 5/8 inch piece that we stamped by 2 and cut it in half down the middle at 1. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be off camera for a second. I'm running out of room on the table. Here we go. So I cut it in half, and I know it looks a little weird, but that's okay because it's going on the center panel of this never-ending card that will split down the middle. So, oh geez, make sure I get the right side. The kind of day I'm having, you know that I would put the 2 wrong sides together, right? We'll just double check. So I am sticking that right to the inside of where that is gonna fold. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. And I know that that was the wrong one because it was the off-roading one. And I'll just line it up. Oh, slow down, Selene. There we go. Maybe. Whew. Small thumbs. There we go. All right, so let's see if we can. So I like that, but that is a little wonky. Like there's, maybe I cut it a little bigger than 2. I'm gonna take a second and fix it and make sure. And of course the adhesive is on there, but I'd rather it be right. And I cut part of my A off, but that's okay. I'd still rather it be right. And I really do enjoy seeing the line, the border there. So, okay. Then, last panel. So, see with the tear and tape, they can fall apart. So that was my first sample. And it does, like the tear and tape is coming off. So I'm gonna peel that and not worry about it and liquid glue it, and it's gonna be good. But that, I really do like the tear and tape as like a placeholder because I wouldn't have the confidence yet to know that I was sticking it exactly in the right place. So now that I know where it is and I know that this will never come apart, I can liquid glue it and it's not going to go anywhere. This is the last panel. So these measure 2 5/8 by 1. These measure 2 5/8 by 2. And that one's easy enough. And I did pull in a second stamp set for that. That is the poppy, the one that goes with the poppies, so that I could finish off my card. Now, I'm going to put that to the side for a second and bring in a strip of paper. My goodness. I think I want a 1-inch belly band. So I'm just going to cut 1 inch off, and then I'm gonna score it, I don't know, somewhere, just once, to give it the first fold. This is the back. And then I'm gonna give it a little space and fold it over, just kind of random. Doesn't need to be perfect. But the deal with this is I want to make sure that when I fold it, that I have a little room so that it can slide on and off. And once I have my bend mark, then I'll come in and just hit it with this. Again, I can seal it with the liquid glue because sealed with a kiss, this stuff doesn't come up. And I'm going to give that a second to set up so that it's doesn't come off when I put it around the card. So we'll slide that over. So there's my belly band. And I was thinking originally that I wanted to have like a dark oval. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna try this. Let's see if I like it, because it's right there in front of me, poking me in the eye. And before I came on, I actually tried an oval with this stamp to see if it would fit, and it fit perfect. That's the Happy and Heartfelt that's in the current January through June mini. And again, I'm sorry for showing samples that have like 3 stamp sets, but for this particular project, because of what it is, I needed all of them. So you could sub out like anything that you have, you know. So stampers, we have tons of sentiments, and I just wanted the ones that meant the most to me for Sue, you know. Okay, so there's that, and then I can add this to the front with a dimensional, and so now it has a belly band, and we'll go through one more time. So that's 1, 2, 3. All right, hang on, I'm backing up just to make sure. Yeah, that's okay. I had it upside down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Phew. I was like, did I put that together wrong? That's funny. And then this will go on the front with that belly band. Phew. Okay, so people are messaging me. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to flip the camera and see if anybody has any questions. My goodness. Today was crazy. Well, yeah. And, you know, that's it, Linda. Linda said we're learning with you. That's it. Like, I learned this today. And it's like a fidget for your hands. Like, you can, it was really funny because when Sue's nephew sat down, he was 9 years old, and of course I was with my people because he's 9 years old. Of course we, you know, just started talking. He's like, I can't stop playing with this. I'm like, it's like elevator music for your fingers, because there was no music in the room and it was quiet, and he was nervous, and the kids were all a little nervous that they had to be there. So it was a moment. So I said, I really need to learn how to do this with my friends. So thanks for hanging out with me today for lunch break. I really appreciate you guys. I will have this class coming out with the Artfully Layered card class. Another fun fold, and I love that this tucks underneath the die cut, and all the pieces are die cut for you, so that'll be coming out. And I will get the host code for that class and put it up in the description, but as soon as I can, I'll get it listed and emailed out. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for being patient with me. I felt like such a disaster like in the beginning, but everything new is hard the first time. So thanks, guys.